Welcome to Peralta Matters. I'm your host, Jay Calhoun. Today's show will focus on student involvement, the sciences, and shared governance at Merritt College. So, sit back, relax, and find out what matters here at Peralta.
Here, we want to create an atmosphere of students being successful. And so we want students that are motivated, that we can motivate, that will not only come here, but they will achieve. And that's the objective in terms of when we think about Merritt College. We think that we make a difference and we change lives.
I dressed down, I didn't throw on my full chains. I'm trying to do the school thing, get a 4.0. School was cool, y'all remember that?
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. I'm your host, Jay Calhoun. We are now joined by Dr. Hank Fabian, professor at Merritt College. Dr. Fabian, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
All right. Let's talk about, because I know, but we need to show our viewers, what do you profess or teach at Merritt?
Well, a number of things, actually.
Exactly.
I teach human anatomy. I teach some human physiology. I do a number of Master Naturalist Program courses, which are things like mammals and ferns and freshwater fishes and things like this, bryophytes.
Outstanding.
So, and then we're also involved in developing a genomics program in the biology department.
That's
and
big.
so that's big, yes.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about that.
Now, give our viewers a little bit of how long you've been doing this wonderful work.
About 12, 13 years
13
at Merritt
years.
College, and then about 20, 21 years altogether.
Wow,
Yeah.
Outstanding. A wealth of information there, huh?
Well, I don't know about that.
Give me a view or a brief overview of the faculty climate at Merritt College.
It's very collegial. My colleagues are my family, quite frankly.
Outstanding.
And like all family, I mean, every once in a while we have little disputes, but
Every
then
now and
it's, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we're all friends.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Right.
that's right.
Right.
So I'm so honored, actually, and humbled by the faculty that I work with. They are truly amazing.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit about, or a little bit of a fly-on-the-wall view of Dr. Fabian's classroom. What are students getting? What are they viewing? What are they under the tutelage of?
Well, hopefully students get the idea that I'm there for them, that I'm their friend, that their success is my success.
Outstanding.
Right. And so I try to accommodate as many students as I can in that regard. Of course, that also means they come to class and things like this, obviously,
Right,
but still, everybody has their own little life story, you know, and although I teach probably 150 students a semester, I try at least at some point in the semester to put myself in the student's shoes.
Okay.
Because if you can walk in somebody's shoes, then you have a sense of where they're coming from, where they're going.
Gotcha.
And obviously you have to shoot your expectations very, very high, make them high.
Right.
Because if my expectations are here and they make it here, that's okay, that's fine.
Understood.
But if I make them here, they're going to be here. So let's keep them pretty
them
high. Exactly.
So you're saying walking in their shoes, what is that giving you perspective-wise as a teacher? Or
I think I'm extremely impressed by what time managers our students are. And just incredible what they can do. And of course, I was a student not so long ago. And so when I see that they have families and they have jobs, you know, and there's relatives they're taking care of, and all this other stuff, all these other commitments, and they're still succeeding in my class, I know that these are really dedicated people. I've never found this type of dedication in any other school that I've taught at, other than Merritt College. That's correct. Yeah.
Outstanding. Well, that leads me into my next question, would be from your students' morale perspective, you know what I mean, based on the faces you see on a day-to-day basis, what would you interpret that they're getting from the biology class at Merritt College?
Well, I hope that they're learning not only the material, but I think they're also learning how to be team players. It's so very important that they learn to be team players.
Extremely.
So many colleges create these artificial environments of competition.
Right.
You know, your neighbor is the guy that's your enemy, right?
Right.
And so what happens is that these people graduate and go in the workforce, and they see their team players as oh no, these guys are not my team players, they're my enemies. They make horrible employees.
Exactly.
You know, and there you have it. And of course, we've all worked with people like that are constantly, you know, competing with you. You don't want to work with folks that are like that. You want to have people that are collegial and help you in your work, and of course, in turn, in kind, you help them with their work. And that makes a tremendous environment, really great working environment in that regard.
Excellent.
So the big thing is be a team player.
Be a team player.
Exactly. Right. And no cliques. I mean, everybody works together, right? It's not like this little group and that little group. Yeah.
Would that be a major dynamic in the arena in which you teach, i.e. biology is always testing, you're always doing some kind of research, so the team factor plays a very heavy role in that?
It's a huge factor. The other thing we're trying to do is create unique environments for them. For example, the way I teach anatomy is different from the way most other people teach anatomy. I teach regional anatomy. So instead of learning all the bones and all the muscles and the blood vessels and the nerves, we learn them together. So then you see, you know, where the muscle attaches to the bone, you learn the origin and insertion, you learn the nerves that are associated with it, you know, the blood vessels that are going by that. So you get this whole picture of, say, an arm, as opposed to these little vignettes of this, that, the other thing.
Good point.
And there are a number of students that have come from even as far as Stockton to take my class because the type of schools they're trying to get into are insisting that they take a regional anatomy class. So I've kind of done a hybrid. You know, I've done some systemic anatomy when we come with the organs and things like this. But in terms of the actual skeletal structure and muscular structure, that's all regional. And so that makes my class fairly unique. Because what I'm trying to do is make specialists. I mean, people don't get jobs by having a homogenous education. Everybody has the same education. You know, then what do? You know, you're all competing for that job that says, "Would you like the supersized?" I mean, you know, we don't really want to develop students like this. We want people that are specialists.
Outstanding.
And those programs that we're trying to start actually are sort of leading toward this specialty too. Following the lead of our sister schools like College of Alameda and Laney, their folk ed programs are just outstanding. And what are they doing? They're making specialists. Specialists become taxpayers.
There we go.
Yeah, and that's how you get out of an economic crisis. Is you have taxpayers.
Real quickly, that's a good thing you talk about that. What would you specifically say that your approach is to the unfortunate crisis that we're met with economically as far as servicing our students?
I think it was Rahm Emanuel that said, "Never let a crisis go to waste." And I think he's dead right about that. In other words, with every crisis, there's opportunity.
Outstanding.
You know, and so that's the way you have to look at a crisis.
Outstanding.
So, you know, you can't just sit there with your hand out. You have to look at other means of developing revenue, or maybe creating an environment where you're not using quite as much material, but you're making the students get more creative about their approach. And so in some ways, the education gets better you know, in a crisis situation.
Right.
Although nobody likes it because it makes you think, for one thing.
It makes you actually do something, right?
Exactly, that's true. Precisely,
Outstanding,
yeah.
outstanding. Dr. Fabian, thanks for coming on the show,
Thank
man.
you.
It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Take care.
We just talked to Dr. Hank Fabian from Merritt College. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
My first instructor, he wasn't that articulate, but he used to say, you got to read the book.
The EMT program, it's very intense. If you're not prepared to study, then don't even bother to show up. There's a lot of people in the class who want to be firefighters, myself included.
I want to be a nurse.
Some of them are going to go on to be doctors, like this guy. Going to be a neurosurgeon.
I want to go to medical school, so this is like, you can get some great experience, some great knowledge, and you're going to learn every single part of it.
Bleeding control, CPR, mobilization of the spinal cord. The true skill is the assessment. When they can come in and recognize a cardiac event, recognize a stroke.
You see somebody just sweating and can't breathe very well, and by asking a couple questions, you're able to figure it out, so it makes you feel really good.
I can't teach them everything in here, but if I can just get them started with thinking about assessments, that's the true skill.
Being an EMT just really opens a lot of doors.
And after that, everything falls in place.
I'm Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Join me in watching Peralta TV.
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. I am your host, Jay Calhoun. We are now joined by Associate Student Body President of Merritt College, Sinead Anderson. Sinead, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Outstanding. Thank you. You as well. Let's talk about, like many student government people, your trajectory into student body president.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I'm the student body president of Merritt. I started off as a senator in 2009. Okay. I became the president of the Black Student Union a year later. Okay. And then here we are. I'm the president of the student body. It's been a hectic year, just dealing with a multitude of things at Merritt College. We have wonderful faculty and staff there. The students are amazing. The landscape is just wonderful. And as student body president, I've been working extremely hard just to make sure that we cultivate and promote student leadership, as well as activities on campus, because without campus life, you know, we've heard what happens to students. So it's just been an amazing year. Also, we don't have a student activities advisor. So I've been working very closely with Brian Cervantes at Laney College, as well as the other associate student body presidents, and we've all been helping each other just to make sure that, you know, we get things done throughout the academic year, supporting one another with support of the faculty and staff at Merritt. And yeah, that job is a lot just for a student, being a student government president, and also working as a faculty advisor, but really being a student, it's been a lot. Yeah.
Dr. Fabian kind of touched on that a little bit, and I guess it's perfect that we ask you that.
Yeah.
He spoke on how amazed and how proud he is of his students' time management.
Yeah.
Being student body president, being a person who's
faculty
trying to go
advisor.
and you're trying to transfer, you're trying to graduate, you're trying to do all these things. How are you navigating?
Wow. Oh, okay. So I plan my sleep. Let's just say that. I mean, literally, I have a schedule for my sleep, and sometimes it varies. It could be 2 hours, it could be 4 hours, and it may be 12. You know, it's just on the weekend. Right. But acting at that capacity, being a student trying to transfer, you have to have support. And that's where we have great faculty and staff. I mean, there's not one day that I cannot walk into anyone's office, whether the president's office, the vice president of instruction, or the vice president of student services, and say, hey, I need you. Right on. And they will stop doing whatever they're doing. I kid you not, I have their cell phone numbers. And they will help me, they will assist me, and they will assist every student. And it's just about being a part of the student life and knowing what's going on campus, and that way you can navigate. If a student doesn't know what's going on campus, if they don't know the adequate resources that are offered, as well as the administrators, faculty, staff, I've made friends with all of these people. I can call them, I can see them off campus, and that has helped me manage my time. That has helped me succeed, get to where I am today, and transfer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We also know, based on what we've talked about with some of the other student leaders,
Right.
the challenges of galvanizing your fellow students to support causes that you are out here championing.
Yes.
Talk, one, your specific approach to that issue, and two, what the response has been at Merritt.
Wow, okay. So it's extremely hard to get students. I mean, we're talking about students who are over 12 units, maybe 15 parents, communicating from Alameda to Merritt College to Laney College to evening at Berkeley City, and maybe even taking a class at UC Berkeley. So it's extremely hard to get them to get involved, but I've had a great response. Partly because I develop a relationship, and I get their interest by that relationship. Also with the challenges and the causes, they know that it affects them. If it's something to do with school, let's, for example, financial aid. Financial aid is just something that, you know, every student, if they can get, you know, that type of support, it's needed. And if there's something that's going to attack that type of support, we know that we have that student support because it's their livelihood. It's how they survive. So getting issues, key issues that are important to students, also developing that relationship. And I have to bring up again the faculty and staff, because the teachers push the students. I mean, really, they do. And the students set the standard for the teachers. So we have great communication and a great relationship. And that's how we definitely get things moving at Merritt College, that relationship.
I like that. We all know about the state budget crisis. We all know about cutbacks at all of our colleges. Student perspective wise, how do you feel your fellow students as well as you are approaching these cutbacks, these situations, these issues, while maintaining your level of I want to get, you know, further in life? Oh wow, we're proactive. That's the only thing I could say. We are so proactive. We are looking for the schedule before the schedule comes out. I mean, literally, spring hasn't come, but we're already prepared. I mean, staying on top of your SEP, student educational plan. If you don't stay on top of your SEP, it's basically like a death wish, literally, for your education. So the way that we've been combating these budget cuts, we know that it happens at the state level, it trickles down to us. And so we have our marches, which is the National Day of Action. You know, we go out there and we have legislative visits, as well as, you know, we just keep being informed. If we're not informed, we can't combat what's happening to us. We can't proactively plan. So our job, and my job, is to make sure that the students are informed, to make sure I'm informed so I can inform the students, and make sure we keep those SEPs going. Because without that, I mean, you really won't graduate. You have to know what is being cut so that you can navigate through the Peralta system, through the Merritt system, the Laney system. It's all entwined. So if you don't know what's happening with the money, you know, basically, you're lost. You're very lost. Real quick, as you are running again for student body president, what do you say to your fellow students about your presidency this past year? I've been working extremely hard just to make sure that we have support, that there's someone actively promoting and cultivating student leadership. I've also been securing the money. The Associated Students of Merritt College has over $200,000 in assets. And this year it has been released to the students for us to use, for us to do things that we weren't able to do in previous years. So this is a great accomplishment for me and for the next academic year, for all of the resources and the benefits and just the different communication in campus life that we're going to have, as well as spreading communication extremely far around the campus. Outstanding. So, I'm voting. I got it. Thank you. Right. Thank you for coming on the show, Sinead. Thank you so much. It was so nice talking with you. Excellent. Thank you. We just talked to Sinead Anderson, student body president at Merritt College. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Merritt College Child Development Program. We offer a number of learning communities in our Child Development Department, and we would like for you to come today. We have a diverse group of instructors who are culturally sensitive and who are interested in students succeeding academically and professionally. We offer 5 certificates of achievements: the assistant teacher, the associate teacher, the teacher, the early intervention, and the violence prevention certificates. Each of these certificates are aligned to the Child Development Permit is aligned to the state Title V program and the state California Commission on Teacher Credentialing. Come to Merritt College and join one of our learning communities.
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. I'm your host, Jay Calhoun. We are now joined by Anita Black, Interim Vice President of Student Services at Merritt College. Welcome to the show. Oh, excuse me, of instruction. Please forgive me.
No problem.
Let's talk about your role at Merritt, interim as it may be. But what are you doing now for Merritt College?
Well, as VP of Instruction, you know, my primary responsibility right now, especially without deans, but I'll have them shortly, is to interface with faculty and students, but more importantly, to make sure that class schedule has been developed, monitor curriculum, student learning outcomes, conduct faculty evaluations, interface with classified support staff, and budget, anything related to budget, from equipment to supplies to student aids. Interface with my counterpart in student services to make sure support services are adequate and are being addressed accordingly, handle student grievances, as well as to attend all the festivities that are getting ready to happen. From advisory committee meetings, I have one this early or late afternoon, early evening with the Nutrition and Dietetics Program, their advisory committee. But shortly, what I was alluding to before was about the ending festivities, the graduation, the pin ceremony of the nursing students in Rad Tech and so forth.
Outstanding.
So an array of things.
On your plate, to say the least.
Yes.
We talked a little bit off camera about your tenure at the Peralta Systems. Let's get specific to how long you've been servicing Merritt College in particular and the students at that campus.
I left Laney in June of 2011 and came to Merritt that August.
Okay.
As a professor in business and computer information systems. Okay. So I was doing that until the first of this year, when I was asked to come in temporarily as interim vice president of instruction. And in the capacity of faculty, I also served as a senator on the college budget committee. I didn't do curriculum. I served on curriculum at Laney. What else? There was one other committee. Oh, tenure review. I was on several neophyte, what I call neophyte faculty members or newbies. Right. And then I became Academic Senate President. And I was in my second term when I was asked to become interim Vice President of Instruction. Yes.
Give us a little bit of the role of Academic Senate President, or Vice President for that matter.
Academic Senate President is a huge responsibility, you know, because we're in a shared governance system. And we have 1/3, as they say, or at least a consultative posture that faculty has. And you got to remember that, you know, faculty are the majority of the employees of the district, because we work directly with students, either in our capacity as a counselor or directly in the classroom, or a librarian, or a nurse, or what have you. So what we are doing directly impacts the student's success. And therefore, our counsel, so to speak, I feel is a very a critical element to the overall governance of the whole entire district, and namely the college. So I think when that was put in place, well over a decade, maybe almost moving to 2 decades now ago, by the General Assembly, state of California, they felt it was a very important piece of the decision-making process, and that the Board of Trustees as well as managers should come to bear in terms of opinion, but more importantly, documented or evidence-based or data-driven opinions, which, you know, faculty have a lot to do with the generation of that information. You know, we generate a lot of that data via students, you know, students interfacing with us through our classes and so forth. The other critical thing, of course, is the curriculum aspect, which I feel as an ex-academic senator is a very important one, because that's the basis of why students come to us. That's the basis of why industry wants certain short-term programs, you know, to respond to workforce development issues and so forth. So being able to generate positive, relevant curriculum where students can either get jobs or transfer, or that are enriching in some form or fashion in basic skills for the preparation of workforce development or transfer is extremely critical, along with professional development and all the other 11, 10 plus things that faculty have to be involved in. Now, as Vice President of Instruction, probably the most primary thing that I had to jump in very quickly and deal with was the accreditation that we just went through.
Yes, that's a big thing.
So it was spearheading as the accreditation liaison officer. I had to just chair our college committee, but it was clearly a team effort. You know, so I was very thankful that I had faculty and classified support staff that were willing to help and get it together, as well as the prior VC of instruction, which started it off, and I just picked up where that person left off, you know. So it was a team. It was a team effort. So hopefully come June, we'll see that that's a positive thing that happened.
That accreditation is going to be perfect. Perfect. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, Ms. Black. It was a great talk. I mean, we probably can go on more and more because I have a lot more questions to ask you. But for more information about Merritt College and what you guys are doing, where should people reach you?
They could reach me via email. I'm an email junkie since I was an online instructor, and we discussed that prior to. So ablack@peralta.edu, and of course the phone number is 436-2411.
Outstanding.
But I prefer email.
Prefer email. You got that. Email her. Don't call her.
Yeah.
Thanks again for coming on the
show.
show.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you for watching the show. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Turn the guitars down. It's time to sculpt the sound. Volume's too high. He is not horsing around. Turn the guitars down. It is the classic standoff. We like to play at 11. You like to turn us off. Turn the guitars down.
Welcome back to Peralta Matters. I want to thank today's guests. I also want to thank you for watching. And for more information on Merritt College, please visit www.merritt.edu. Until then, do something that matters.
Peralta TV, programs that matter.